Welcome back to our special program. I want to remind everyone we are doing something special tonight in the wake of the developments in the Gabby Petito case. It is important to remember what's at the center of this case, and it is that young woman, Gabby, and her family, and how they are trying to process their new normal. And to that end, we've invited Aaron Runyon, Beth Holloway, and John Walsh to join us and have a conversation with Joe Petito. Joe, you and I talked off camera earlier today about the new normal that you're in. You are so early in the journey. Is there any specific advice? Are there any particular questions that you can even think of at this early stage that these three fellow club members may be able to help you with?
And listen, I know the basics. I should be getting sleep, eating more. Take time for me, but is there other things that I should be paying attention to? We have people talk to the kids and, myself and my wife, obviously, because trying to process this takes more than just one person. But I'd be asking, are there things that I'm missing at that point?
Beth, you have a son, right? Named Matthew. That was Natalie's older brother. I mean, you had to do what Joe is doing now, and the family. They have to deal with their other children and try to make sense of this for the other kids. The same with John Walsh. But Beth, just maybe touch on that for Joe and that, that task.
Well, when there are other siblings involved and other family members, you do have to be conscientious of that. But a lot of times, and I think I'm hearing from Joe to say that they've got a pretty good network and to help to nurture this, the family, which is so important because I think Joe's focus is, like he's saying, you tend to want to neglect yourself because you feel like you're in such a fight for justice and answers. But in order to seek the best justice for Gabby and to see this through, I always recommend that. And it was something that Harris Faulkner, I feel like she had to give me permission early on that it's okay to have those creature comforts for myself because we don't know how long the journey is in seeking justice and answers. Sometimes it's a marathon, Joe. Sometimes it happens, sometimes you have recovery of your loved one's remains and you have the perpetrator brought to justice and things are done fairly swiftly. But other times, we don't really know what we're settling in for. So, I think that it's okay for us to tell you that it's okay to lay down your sword every once in a while and just nurture yourself a little so you can remain so strong for Gabby in seeing this through the end and seeing justice for her. And, other family members will help support and take up that caring for other individuals so you can really, really focus and stay proactive. And I think it's so important what you're doing, like what I mentioned at first. When we first are experiencing these tragedies, we're reactive and we're just reacting to everything. But now I feel like, Joe, you've taken it to being proactive. And that is the best step that I think that any person can do in searching for their loved one and getting justice and answers. So
it brings up a really good point, Beth, about the various stages along the way. And I don't know, Joe, where you and your family are at this point. I know during the funeral, Gabby's stepfather mentioned how hard it was to come back from Wyoming because he wanted to bring, Gabby back to you. And you, I would assume, have to be in the dark about some things because this is an open investigation. Help me to understand how you're managing sort of where you fall into the priority list of being informed about every step of the way.
We want answers, and we know we're not going to get the answers right away, especially with the way current events are, as of they are this evening. So, again, we're a group of four. It's not just me. A lot of parents don't have that, So the fact that we are four, we get to bounce things off each other and lean on each other. Especially if someone's having a bad day and you can notice that. We're like, you know what? Why don't we take a step back and we'll reevaluate and make sure things are okay. So we're trying to stay focused on things for the foundation. How can we honor Gabby? Making sure it's not meaningless to us. And making sure that we can make a difference and make that change that need to have happen. I know it's for a selfish reason, but the outcome is still the same, that we want to help and save people. And we think we can actually make a big difference. There's already starting to be a lot of talk, a lot of people that are finding out ways to make plans to make sure that they leave their significant others in a safe manner, and that's huge for us. We want to do more for that. We're seeing people tag Gabby Petito, and their cases are start coming more to the top and being investigated, and as they should be. And every person should have the type of coverage, or at least close to it. And we're starting to see that more and more, which is exciting. But we got a lot of work to do. Us, the networks. If there's a network that's not dedicating a few moments to this or longer, as it should be, and that's we should be writing, as social media, tell them this is what we want to do. This is what we want to see. We want to make sure these kids come home, and we want them home quick. So things like that, making that change is going to be huge.
And for you, there's still you're in the middle of the process of even trying to memorialize Gabby and have a funeral. You had your memorial, but do you know if you're getting close to being able to bring her home and actually have that final funeral for Gabby?
We hope so. We got some, got some more things that they're working out. I have no idea. But they do tell us it will be soon, sooner than later, which is exciting. And we just want to get together and escort her home properly. And this way we can do what we need to do as the four of us and really process it together and really lean on each other, because that's what's going to need to happen.
When we come back after the break, John Walsh, I want you to weigh in on that process of where you fall in the priority of police information during an investigation, during an active investigation, an open investigation that can sometimes go on for days and weeks and months and even years. John Walsh, Aaron Runyon, Beth Holloway, and Joe Petito after the break.